Hope everybody's doing well. Well, hello everybody. That was called Unit 7, and that's Wes Montgomery Did it on the Wynton Kelly album with Wes Montgomery. I think they had Unit 1, 2, and 3. They just didn't come across. They did 7. They thought it was pretty good. And then they thought, let's do Unit 8 and 9. And still didn't compare to Unit 7. So they got Unit 7. I don't know where they got that number from. But anyway, hope all is well. Hi, Brad. And Brad, you wrote me that one big email. And I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get back to you on that email. I'm sorry. I will do that tomorrow. Davidson, let's see. Larry from Davidson, Michigan. All right. Leo from Western North Dakota. Sweet. Gee, I got a friend that moved over there. Are you in the oil business? And then we got Kim from the BC. Good evening. Andrew, what's happening from New Jersey? Nice to hear from you, Andrew. Bought a wonderful, beautiful guitar from me. Jeez. Ay, ay, ay. Which, by the way, I have this one sitting right over here, which we'll play in a little bit. I don't have the camera on that, but we will. And I'm going to get that out. Okay, Kirby, what's happening, Kirby? So sound is okay and everything, guys? So anyway, what's happening? I forgot what I was going to talk about. Balmy Sunday in San Francisco. My son just moved from San Francisco, just going over C minor blues exercise. What is it about C minor? I know you like to hang with it. Well, C minor is, I guess horn players like C minor because a lot of jazz is in C minor. So it didn't start with me. No, we're okay. So Balmy Sunday in San Francisco. Okay. So anyway, I hope all is well with you guys. We're going to play a record tonight, and we're going to play just a cut from it. And this is it, Tony Rizzi. I'm going to talk all about it in a bit. Let's see. Bill Miller. Oh, great. Grant. Wow, a lot of familiar names. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. And I am drinking a wine tonight of a very special wine. It's found at Walmart for, I think it's $17. And it's a box. It's called Bought a Box. And this is their deep, dark red wine. And I thought, wow, that's nice. It's very, very tasty. It's got that fruity fruity. It's got that fruity taste in the beginning and a great nose and a vinegar finish. Just kidding. Okay, a little When You Wish Upon a Star, made famous by Jiminy Cricket. So wonderful tune. Isn't that a fantastic song? We just watched, Gail and I, a movie called Judy, about Judy Garland, the other night. And I was going to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but actually I know somebody who has a friend that's related to somebody. No, just kidding. I just have a friend that his father-in-law wrote the lyric to that, and I'm going to try to hook up with him and see if we can find out more about Somewhere Over the Rainbow through the eyes of his father-in-law, who has passed. But anyway, how would you modulate that to E2 Go Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Well, the easy way is to play 2/5 of E. So I don't know. If you're in the key of C, if you're coming from the key of C, play an F sharp to a B7, and you're there. So here I am in the key of C. So let's see. Or no, Jiminy Cricket. So actually, I was in the key of D. And then to the key of E, you'd go maybe something like this. It's 2/5 of the key you're going to, and that'll take it on. So Jim Rolfe, what's happening, Jim Rolfe and Lonesome Lenny? How Lonesome Lenny. All right, so where are we at? You want to? Man, it's getting hot in here. Do you want to? Hey, Rich, get that glass of wine off the amp. We don't want any accidents. Quilter built their amps with a cup holder, so no worries. Somebody should do that though, shouldn't they? So let's talk about. Tell you what, let's get into our jazz journey, shall we? Because the first song that I played was called Unit 7, and Unit 7. The chord progressions are kind of like a blues. It goes 4 bars of C, 2 bars of F, and then down to A7, and then to A flat major 7, and then to D flat major 7, and then down to C. Now, in that particular spot right there, you know what sounds nice? We have to move the sign to Jazz Journey first. You know what sounds nice there is a C blues scale. So I have a lesson. It's called the blues scale potential. And we talk about how you can take blues scales. You don't add any other notes besides the blues scale. And remember, the blues scale is just lowered third, fourth, lowered fifth, natural fifth, flat 7. Don't add any other notes. All right, now Just that scale sounds so nice against the A flat major 7. Listen. So we want to talk about that. So basically, I like to refer to that particular sound as the Holiday Inn sound. And you hear it all the time on smooth jazz. Okay, let's say we're in the key of A major 7 for a second. So what's the third of A major 7? C sharp. So we play a C sharp blues. Hear it? So C sharp blues sounds really. And the reason that is when I take a blues scale and basically I analyze those tones against an A major 7, I would have the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, the flat 7, and the natural 7, the 9th, and then the 3rd again. Now, what you're saying to yourself, well, what about this flat 7? That didn't work. So the theory is this. A blues scale is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tones, 4 tones pointing towards the 5th tone. It's the placement of that 5th tone that really makes it sweet. So we're targeting the major 7th with the blues scale. So that's why it works so well. So that idea is, I tell you, I call the blues scale the go ahead and leave that open. The blues scale, the blues scale potential, the lesson that I put together, I call it $1,000. It used to be $100 lesson. Now it's $1,000 lesson, because that idea of using blues scales in that way is like you could base your whole career just off of blues scales. And if you know how to use them like that, and they sound good, people like them. So think about it. Go check out that video. And I think it would be well worth your while. And it's not $1,000 really. It's marked down to like $9.99. Which actually, let's talk about the website, because many of you have been writing because my subscription site has ended. And so we've been frantically at a slow pace trying to get that thing together at a new format. And so the goal is to actually take 99-cent guitar lessons, the Go Play Music subscription site, combine them onto another site where you can either buy individual lessons or you can do a monthly subscription and view the whole library. So I think we're going to call it the Guitar College Library. And we're going to start branching off into more of the teachable series, where you have more lessons or courses that are really well thought out and not just pick and choose here and there. But hey, Lee Moeller likes this heritage. Well, you have good taste, Lee. This is a Heritage Eagle Classic, and I ordered another one just like it, except it won't have the inlays. It should get here in about 9 months, 6 to 9 months. And I also ordered a 575 in the Sunburst finish. And this finish is just, they just really got it together, because the black really isn't black. You look, it's a really deep, deep red. Cup holder, very important on an amp. Yes. Still planning on the retreat this spring. Yes. What are your COVID protocols? That's a good question. You know, I think I'm going to leave it to the individual. If they feel threatened, wear a mask. If anybody is sick, or anything, don't come if you're feverish or whatever, but or at least stay in your room. Hopefully this whole mess will be over with by then. So did I see Garrett over here? So good evening, Rich. I'm finally catching you live instead of, oh, good. Thank you, Garrett. Garrett has been to our workshop, what, 2, 3, 4 times? I'm not really sure. Wonderful, wonderful guy. He helps us with a fellow that comes from Japan. He comes from Japan, and Garrett can speak Japanese. So he's an artist, a potter, and his wife is Japanese and knows the language. So anyway, Steve Stewart. Hey, Steve, what's happening, man? Nice to hear from you. Steve is an old high school buddy. Had a wonderful band. And we do our band tree reunion. And Steve is there with his group, and it's always a fun time. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so there is our jazz journey. Now, when we talked about using a blues scale against a major 7 chord. Now, there's a couple other things you can do with the blues scale, obviously, and we'll do that sometime. Yes, we do have excellent fun at the band tree reunion. Our friend Jim Rolfe here organizes a band tree reunion in Thousand Oaks in the 60s. All of us had bands there. Thousand Oaks was kind of a community about 40 miles from Hollywood, and it was kind of sitting out by itself, but all the guys got together and made their own bands, and we had a wonderful time playing through high school and beyond. And some of our bands actually got recording contracts. And so Jim, about, 20 years ago, something like that, decided, wouldn't it be fun, instead of like a high school reunion, let's have a band reunion. And you know how bands are. One guy is in one band, and then he ends up playing in this other band, and they all intertwine and stuff. And 2005 it started. So anyway, we've had several events. It's been really wonderful. Oh, there it is. There's some of the events. Oh, there's me. There's Pat. Is that, no, is that, I don't know who that is. Matt. And then a bunch of old geezers, huh? We didn't always look like that. There's Jim Rolfe right there playing the guitar. Tommy Boyce, who no longer with us, unfortunately. And they were called the Blue Coats. Or was it the Blue Coats? And they were a really good band. Okay, so hopefully we'll do that again. Jim is still contemplating whether he's going to do it again this year. Well, everybody's still picking in that group. Isn't that crazy? And one year we brought our guitar teacher, Bill Euchre, who taught everybody in town, who was a real excellent guitarist. And we brought him from, I think he was living in, I don't know, Vegas or Florida or something. We brought him back and kind of honored him. He was very touched. He said, I was just trying to make a living. And he didn't realize how many people he had touched. And it was funny because we said, everybody who studied with Bill, stand up. And like, it was more than half of everybody there. And I said, Bill, look at, and they're still playing. It was very touching. So anyway, thanks to Bill Euchre. Now the claim is Bill played, was the 3rd of June, another deep and dusty Delta day, that he played guitar on that. I don't know for sure. I know he did a lot of studio work. He's the first guy well before the guy that did the talking box. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. He had one of those. Bill had one of those way before that. That was when, like, 1966. So he had hooked up a speaker with a tube and did, Peter Frampton, well before Peter Frampton. Bill Uecker also claims, and I think he's right, because he was working with Ernie Ball guitars. And it was just a store he taught there and, do sales too. Ted Green was there and stuff and worked for Ernie. And Bill's the one that said, well, we used to take a regular set of guitar strings and put them down, put the first where the second is, and then get a banjo string, on the high E string. And so Ernie Ball guitars, Ernie Ball decided, well, let's make these slinky strings, and launched a giant business. Really? Jared took some lessons from me a while back. Well, could be. I guess I've been around a while. Let's see. Let's play something. You want to? Let's do Bloomdido. I don't want to do something slow. Let's do something up, just because. Bloomdido's in the key of B flat. It's blues by Bird. Where'd it go? How come the volume on that? Let me check the volume on this. Hold on. Okay, we got to check it volume here. Hold on. I guess it's okay. Let's start over. Got it slow. Here we go. Ta-da! Anyway, there you go. That's Bebop Blues. That was 180 degrees. Thank you, Steve Stewart. Thank you. Steve and I used to teach together at the Music Forum and at Driscoll's Music. I actually, when we worked at a music store, and the music store unfortunately went out of business, and they had several teachers, and it's like, what are we going to do? You know, and we students, and we all taught there. And so I got the great idea. Well, let's open up our own place. So anyway, it was good though. Steve brought over all his students, and we all worked there, and we had a good time for a while. And then I realized, you know what? You don't own a business; it owns you, and you actually have to be there. And boy, that just kind of didn't really set with me well. So we ended up giving it to our friend Wally. I had a chance to sell it, and I wanted more money. This is how he wasn't giving me enough money for it. And a couple months later, I gave it away. So that's a little more music, a little more info than you want to hear. Okay, so let's see. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. Bill Todd, Ernie Ball Guitar Shop. Yes, remember Chips Hoover. Wonderful, wonderful player, little Chips Hoover. Now this is the Tarzana Ernie Ball Guitars, Tarzana, California. Ralphie Valadares says the sound is much better. That's fantastic. If you enjoy this live stream, okay, that's me saying that. I forgot I said that. Okay, so tell you what, let's play a tune on a record player. Look at this thing. Do you see this? Have you ever seen one of those before? God darn it. And we're going to play this. I'm going to take this guitar off because I might sneak outside, have a smoke, you know, just like well, we don't smoke anymore, but. All right, so speaking of Ernie Ball guitars, all that stuff. Ted Green used to teach at Ernie Ball Guitars, and that's where I met him, and I taught there. Dale Zdenek, who owned it, changed my life when he came into the bowling alley that I was playing at, and he knew the drummer. He was in a band in Vietnam with him, I had to interview Dale because he's got crazy stories about playing in Vietnam. So anyway, Dale said, wow, I want you to come and teach over here at my store. I need another teacher. Okay. So that's where I met Ted Green. So Ted said, one day he said, hey, there's this guy putting together this group. And this group is called Tony Rizzi and his 5 guitars plus 4. But we always called it 50 Fingers because there was 5 really hot guitar players. And what they had in this record is Tony had harmonized all of Charlie Christian's solos, not all of them, but a select few, and harmonized them for 4 or 5 guitars. So, well, tell you what, let me just play it, and then you can just hear it, and hopefully you'll be blown away. So, and then we'll talk about it. Tell me if it comes out good. Well, what do you think of that? So Tony Rizzi. So there was a group called Super Sax that did that with Charlie Parker solos. And I think that was pre Tony Rizzi. Tony got the idea, hey, well, let's do that with guitars. Okay, so check out who's in the band. All right, see this? Here is Jimmy Weibel. You all heard of him. Okay, here's Tony Rizzi. That guy there. Can you see him? Grant Geisman. This fella, I never met a Mike Rosati. And then right here, this guy right here, Tim May. Tim has been out at our workshop. You know, he doesn't have as much hair anymore. Okay, Pete Chrisley on sax and just freaking tore it up. And so you have a bunch of wonderful other guys on this thing. It's just crazy. So anyway, these charts, I was talking to Frank Potenza, and those charts are at UCLA. But anyway, so Ted said, let's go down. Come with me and we'll go down to the Musicians Union where they're practicing and let's go hear them. And it's like, okay. So we go in there and they're just wailing. And to hear that live, it was like, holy crap, good grief. And those are not easy charts. Matter of fact, the liner notes on this, they do a big bash job on all pop guitar players, you know, saying, well, if you think guitar ends with Eric Clapton and George Harrison, you got another thing coming. So wow, that's dark. You hear this guitar here? This is a Heritage 575, and I just acquired this. I put a Tune-o-matic on. I cleaned it all up. That's about it. It's also got a graphite bridge. And I'm going to offer this up for some lucky student. It's got solid maple, sides and back. 16-inch, 2 3/4 inch depth, and 24 3/4 inch scale length. So anyway, okay, so where are we at here? Got an original Ted Green solo album, right? And you know what? So this is our new edition. We can actually play a record. Geez, son Louise. So anyway, guitars sound a lot like saxophones. Yeah, when they're harmonized like that, I guess they do. There's a full range, you know. Old jazz records, yeah, thrift stores go. Yes, Grant Geisman was in the band. No, Ted Green wasn't on the LP. No, you had to be a super duper reader for that. You got to be able to read like nobody's business. And, you know, some of the parts are way down here. That's hard to do. And those guys just tore it up. Crazy, isn't it? So, anyway, let me play something on this. Ralphie Valadares requested Days of Wine and Roses last week. So I would like to play that song. Whoops, is that hot? I gotta get my... Something like that. Nice, great tune, right? So we did it in the key of D, kind of, and then went to key of F. So, by the way, I have a lesson on that. Thank you, Wes. So let's see. So, see what? All right. Heard you some other live streamers like Andy Brown, for example. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I wish I did. Thank you, Ralphie and Garrett. Let's see. Well, let's move on. Let's move on down to another segment here, which is our Chord Corner. Everybody say it with me, please. Chord Corner. This is what I'm going to do is from my chord licks video. Got a bunch of jazz chord licks. So this is lick number 12. And just like there are licks for single note, there's also chord licks that you can learn and they become part of your playing if you remember them, which is how do you keep your fingerstyle memory well enough? It's very hard. But I think I've talked about this before, and that actually, let's see, I think you're new here, so I'm going to say it again, and that is you write out 6 songs you're working on, okay? And you do them twice in the morning, back to back, and twice in the evening, back to back. All 6, okay? And you do that for a few days. Now, if you're looking to hold on to like 24 songs, you take 6 songs on Monday, 6 songs on Tuesday, 6 songs, and you do them twice in the morning, twice in the evening, back to back. And if you have to fix stuff because you forgot, well, then that's an extra time because you're going to have to learn how to fake it if you screw up, because you're going to screw up. So you're going to have to learn how to fake it. And so don't stop. Try not to stop. Just try to fake it. All right. Now, where are we at? I'd like you to have the 335U demo this week. Oh, you'd like to have the 570, 535. Well, you know what? It's still available. That's a beautiful guitar. All right, let's move to the Chord Corner. You're going to have to fortify yourself for this. You know, one thing I miss about smoking is to take a break. You know, it's nothing better that you play a set for an hour and then you and the band go outside and you smoke a cigarette. And that used to be so much fun because it gave you something to do. Now you just kind of, get out, everybody gets on their phone. Nobody talks to anybody. By the way, isn't this pretty? Let's look at the other side if we can. This is in gorgeous shape. My gosh. So I don't know how much it's going to cost. All right. So why was I talking about that? I don't know. All right. Let's play this. Here is the chord lick. All right. So basically it's over a B flat 7. And basically what I'm doing is first I'm going to be doing sidestepping. I'm going to go B to B. But I'm going to harmonize it with a different note on top. So first I have a B13. Whoop. There's B13 down to B flat 13. And now I'm going to go with a B on top and then a B flat. So I got Is my ears shot, or it just sounds like we need more treble? All right, so there's the first 4 chords. All right, next we're going to come down and we're going to play these 3 strings. And then we're going to go. All right, so now I have. Okay, and then it ends there, but I think there's an extra one. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me turn the. No, I don't know where. Nope. That's it. Well, let's extend that a little further and let's go into this. Let's go to. So we're going to go. So then. Okay, so taking a chord and sidestepping it with a different melody note on top, you can get a lot of really interesting things. So when you're comping, oh, that's what it was. It was B flat like this, and then B natural with the 9th to B flat 9. So picture this in the bass line. Let's go back up. So yeah, that's how that works. You know, it's called sidestepping, and that's how it works. By the way, I bought this turntable at a yard sale for $5. Can you believe it? And it's actually an amp and everything, and I put a new needle on it, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. I had a wonderful turntable. I gave it to some friends of ours because I got another one. And then I regretted that because the new one didn't work out. So anyway. Okay, love the blues dominant playing. So who are these folks who can play any tune in any key? They're special folks. You should try to learn every song in a couple of keys. I mean, you don't have to learn it in every key. Robert Ramsey, hi from Chiang Mai. Cool. I think it's worth remembering. We can go back and listen to after the stream and isolate the cool tips. That's true. That's true. All right, let's go move on to our next thing, and that is Lick City. Welcome to Lick City. And this is lick number 7, if you're following along, in the 251 lick category. 251 jazz licks, and there they are there. And, you know, you learn, doesn't mean you're able to whip them out and play them. Well, not necessarily on them. They do come out and you're playing. So that, you know how hard you work on scales? You play scales all over the place, right? And then your solos sound like scales. So, duh. It's best to work on licks. Learn to play them in all shapes and around chords, so you can kind of make a hook. to them, and then a visual hook, and then it gets them in your ear too. Now, this particular lick is around got a bad chord or something going on here. E minor 7 to A7 to D major 7. So it sounds like this. Let me do that again. So if you take a look at an E major 9 or better, you think of a G major 7. They're about the same. And we're going right down a G chord, kind of right down a B minor. And then, now this is strange because you're thinking, where's that note coming from? And we'll talk about that in a second. So for the A7, I have E flat or D sharp. So all right, so where are these notes coming from? All right, so we just talked about the E minor going like a G to a B minor. And then here, I've got an A7 and it looks like I'm, what the hell? What is this? Right, that's a G augmented, right? Yeah, sure. But it's also a B augmented. Remember, we're even over the A7, we're working on the E minor still. And then it resolves to an A7, which is, this is a C sharp diminished. Ah. So you learn to play that, and the way you do it is you play it around the cycle of fourths, or just take it down in half steps. Or whole steps. Whole steps is easier. So it's 2-5 of B flat here. 2-5 is C. 2-5 of D. 2-5 of E. Okay. And then for extra credit, you play it in a different shape. Something like this. That's G minor now. Okay. All right, so those kind of things, when you play it up and down the neck through all the keys, then start switching positions. But what does that do? It develops your ear to hearing some of these altered tones. So again, if you were to analyze the chords to this, it would look something like this. Okay. All right. So anyway, there you go. Have it on my desk by Monday. All right. Where are we at here? Robert Ramsey. Hi. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Greetings from Florida. What's the weather like out there? We're having a nice California weather. All right, where are we at? Um, Don Myers. Hi, Don. Steve Stewart, are you still there? Something that I want to tell you. We'll wait till. It's time for our technique talk. We have no guitar tip tonight. We're going to do a little technique talk. And what we're going to talk about, what? Florida's 50 degrees? What the hell's going on down there? Jeez Louise. All right, there are 24 ways of using your fingers. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3. Then 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. There's 24 ways of using your fingers. Mitch Holder wrote a book about that called Quadraphonic Fingering. And I stole that idea and have a lesson on that, and you can check it out. And position, like fifth position, is you put your hand on your guitar and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if I said play the note C in fifth position, low C, you would use your fourth finger. If I said play the note C in seventh position, you would use your second finger. If I said play it in eighth position, that finger. Play it in sixth position, you would use this finger. So that's how it goes. Okay, finger for each fret. So if I take a finger combination like 2, 1, 3, 4, I want to play and keep my fingers low like little pistons in a motor. Don't go. Once they're played, try to keep them as low as possible. Then you play them up and down the neck. Take one combination. And then you play them across the neck. Well, you do that on every string. And then across the strings. Move up a fret, go back up. Boy, I can feel it in my hands. So. Up and down the neck. Wow. I thought I was over that. I can feel that in my wrist right here and stuff. So yeah, this is a really good exercise for you to do. Now there's 24 ways. So I could go, right now I was going 2, 1, 3, 4, right? What if I went? So that's the idea. You can take 24 of those and you work them out. And man, you can really develop your chops that way. And they're almost, some of them are like a tongue twister. You know, my dad always used to say, hey, Rich, hey, hold your tongue and say, my daddy works in a shipyard. My daddy works in a... And it doesn't come out shipyard. He thought that was so funny. And it is funny. Try it at home. Be sure to teach your kids that too. Okay, so where are we at here? Rich, do you remember Charlie Fletcher? I do, yeah. I remember the name. Wait a minute, I can't place the face. Oh, yeah, guitarmanship. Yes, that's a great... I was thinking of that the other day. I was thinking, you know, that word guitarmanship is a great combination of technique and theory. And that is very good. That's what your technique, okay, very helpful. Now, did he combine theory with that? I don't remember. Do you ever play by ear? Ever? Um, what do you mean? Well, yeah, you always play by ear. You mean, well, I try to use my fingers. I've tried my ear and I only can get a slide sound, but yeah, you play by ear all the time because you use your ear to guide you on what you're doing. So anyway, hear a song and play it. Well, sometimes, the more, yes, I do that, try to anyways. And then a lot of times I'll go back and think, I'll find the music and think, wow, I really wasn't hearing that correctly. I'd have to listen to a recording and then figure it out. And I'll tell you something about developing your ear. I think ear goes hand in hand with theory. So you have to know theory, and that'll develop your ear. Ear also goes hand in hand with your experiences. So your ear is a very interesting thing because it's not really your ear, it's your brain, right? And your brain can be programmed for certain things. If I say the word flower, in your mind pops a picture of a flower, whatever your picture is. Everybody's got a different picture. Same thing with musical tones. Musical tones can trigger a visual. When I hear a 1 to a 3 chord, I always invariably think of, do you want to know a secret? I think of the Beatles. When I hear 1 going to 3, that picture of the Beatles pops in my mind. I know exactly what that is. And when I hear 1 to 4 minor or 5 minor, I think of Ferry Across the Mersey. So when I hear a song like Star da 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 da. I got that old Devil Moon, that song. It's 1 to 5 minor, so it's like, wow, it's just like Ferry Across the Mersey. As soon as I hear that sound, Cherry and the Pacemakers, because that's what I grew up on, pops in my mind. Now, you can program your mind for things to pop up, which will develop your ear. And if you do that and be very diligent about it, you can really make big strides. For some reason, I taught a semester or 2 at GIT on ear training. I don't know why, but I think nobody wanted to do it. So give it to Rich. And so, but I had taken this, you remember there used to be this course out, I think his name was David Berg, and it was the develop perfect pitch where you would hear colors. There's some validity to that, but then you go into, obviously you have to learn relative pitch. Relative pitch is super, super important. So the idea with relative pitch is to take songs, like, what song is that? Well, that's Hey Jude. What song is this? Well, that's Georgia. All right, this is the minor third down. This is the minor third up. So, there's little songs like that, and then it helps you. 1 to 6 is my Bonnie. Well, it is for you, Jim, but not for me. But it's everybody has their own deal. So, Cool Cat, is it worth transcribing? No, not unless you're a really good player. You're better off, your time is best well spent learning transcribed solos that somebody's already done the work for you, like me. Or, and then from that you can hear certain riffs. You can hear what I know when I hear somebody play that. I know that riff. I know this riff. So as soon as I hear somebody play it, I know it. I know these riffs. What is going on with my chord? So, no, you're better off not transcribing. You're better off, you can find the music. It's all over the internet. Find the recording and try to match it. And then someday, if you can't ever find this transcription, then do it. Some people say, oh, yes, you must transcribe. You've got to transcribe. There is validity to that. But if you can't play that stuff, if you can't play a bebop line really well, transcribing is going to be a giant waste of time. You're going to be frustrated and just want to give up. All right, so there you have it. I had a professor in college that said E flat was mashed potatoes. Yeah. Well, yeah, 1 to 6 is do the locomotion, right? Another D sharp hit. The mashed potatoes, yeah, mashed potatoes. Boy, that was music. I was in that ear training class of yours, Rich. You were? Well, Brad, how was it for you? Did it work out? Oh, yeah. People would say, I can't do it. And you said, yes, you can. Well, yeah. Yeah, people got to be encouraged because it's just really practice. You can do it. You really can. I know some guys that were just born with perfect pitch. But it was like they crawled on top of a piano when they were a little kid and started playing the music off the record. And they developed that. And I remember, we'd be at a gig and this Bob Holland, Steve and Jim Rolfe, has perfect pitch. So you'd be at a gig and somebody would get up and sing, hey, I want to sing, I don't know, For Once in My Life comes to mind. And the guy would just start singing and Jim would say A flat. Or not Jim, Bob, A flat. Or, somebody would say, let's play. I want to sing Happy Birthday. He gets a happy birthday. Bob Holland would say, key B. I mean, nobody in that key for Happy Birthday, but he knew. So he could just do that. I saw that guy hear a Bach chorale in our theory class and sit down and play it. God. So people would give their eye teeth for that. But anyway, yes, you can develop your ear, definitely. The ear training class really helped me out to this day. Wow, I can play just about anything I hear. That's one reason I let my reading go by the wayside. Well, nowadays reading is very important if you're playing a show, if you're playing a cruise ship, if you're playing a Broadway play, if you're playing in a big band, if you're doing a television date, recording dates. Otherwise, you want to be able to read a chart and fake your way through a chart, but you want to at least be able to learn, be able enough to learn. If you can't read enough to learn, you're out to lunch. So you got to at least learn that much. So Rhythms at First Sight, which is a course that a friend of mine encouraged me to put together. because he said, Rich, there's only about 28 rhythms in 4/4 time. It's where the silence is, and I got to thinking about it, and he's right. There's only a 20 some odd rhythms, but they're written differently. So if you can just learn to identify the rhythms, and that's what studio players play, they know that rhythm. They've seen that rhythm 100 times. Boom, the rhythm, ba-da, ba-da, da-da, da-da-da. Us, we're going 1 and 2 and, counting it. Well, they just see the rhythm. I know the rhythm, ba-da, da-da, 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 and they can do it. Okay. You're working on rhythms at first sight right now. Awesome. It's easier to become familiar with sounds and sequence and intervals. Yes. Develop, make a mental note when you're practicing to play. That sound there. I don't know. That sound is, hey, this is the last up tune for the night. Let's go home. My cord is jacked up. Hey, I want to thank you guys. And yeah, thank you, Wes, for helping. And Ralphie says, thank you, Rich and Wes. Thanks for doing this, Wes. And hey, I will see you next week. There's Wes. There he is. Wes just moved over, Elias. Hi, Debbie. Well, y'all come back again. I'll see you later. Hi, Debbie. See you later, guys.